Welcome back to Takeout. Something pretty interesting happened in Miami yesterday. The city elected its first Democratic mayor in 30 years. Eileen Higgins beat the Trump-endorsed candidate, Emilio Gonzalez, by 19.5 points. Higgins focused a lot on affordable housing and called recent immigration enforcement in the area, quote, inhumane and cruel. Here's my conversation with Higgins. Mayor-elect Higgins, your race has popped up on national prominence. And that makes me curious. Have you received any congratulatory calls today, let's say from, I don't know, the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, governor of California, Gavin Newsom, governor of Kentucky, Andy Beshear, governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, anyone who might be interested in 2028?
Well, a few of them have reached out, mostly through text messages, so they're busy too. It's an exciting day, but also got a lot of local folks. My Congresswoman Frederica Wilson reached out, so it's nice. It's nice to receive their support and good messages.
Mayor-elect Higgins, is there any danger in national political reporters like myself overreading the results of the mayor's race in Miami, nationally or Florida, statewide?
I mean, I think it's always important to look at the place, right? I think we saw that in the elections in November and then here. What the folks in New Jersey and Virginia and New York chose, they chose the person they thought would be right for them. And that's the same thing that happened here in Miami. The residents here, they were used to a government that had a history of corruption and disruption, and it was more like a reality TV show than a place that worked for them. And then you have the combination of the sad politics of trickle-down hatred that is menacing our immigrant population, and they were ready for change.
When you say trickle-down hatred menacing the immigrant population, specifically, what do you mean?
Well, in our community, which is primarily an immigrant community, as I've been out in whether it's at a picnic at a church or something, all around town, folks will whisper in my ear. It's always a whisper. They're afraid. They took my brother. I don't know what happened to my uncle. Sometimes it's Alligator Alcatraz. Sometimes they have no idea where their relatives are. That's not the way it's supposed to be in America. We should not be implementing this culture of fear. We all know we want a secure border, right? We want to know who's coming and who's going so no criminals are getting in to our country. That isn't what they're doing. They said they were going to go after criminals, and now they're going after people's relatives and neighbors and doing it in such a way that, in my opinion, is obviously inhumane, but also a real threat to the economic vitality of Southern Florida.
Mayor-elect, based on your sensibilities and conversations, what do you think the ratio has been in the state of Florida? Non-documented criminals to non-documented residents who have been rounded up?
I don't know that we have clear facts on that. I've certainly heard some reporting where it's less than 10% actually have criminal backgrounds. I think that's more of a national number. But I can tell you in our community, we do not have a high crime rate. We've never had a high crime rate. Matter of fact, in the city that I will now be blessed to serve, our police department has done an amazing job at continuing to lower our crime rate. We also know that a majority of our residents were not born in the United States of America. So those are the facts that you need. We have lots of people that are living here that came from other countries. They're contributing, they're working, their kids are in our schools, they own our small businesses, and they're not criminals. There needs to be a rational policy where we are tightening our border, making sure we feel secure, but we're making sure we have a path to get folks working so that our economy can thrive.
This race, Miami's mayor, has historically been nonpartisan, but the Trump endorsement of your Republican challenger galvanized and made it more partisan. What was the Trump effect in this race?
I don't know. What I know is what I did. I worked and knocked on doors and called Republicans, independents, and Democrats all across the city of Miami, because you cannot become the mayor of this city if only Democrats vote for you. You can't become the mayor of this city if only Republicans vote for you. You've got to have all three. And I have a track record of serving for 8 years on the county commission in this city, where I represent a Republican-leaning district. The folks in the city of Miami know that I am a loud, proud Democrat. But when I get elected, the election's over and the time of service begins, and you serve everybody. You never, ever ask their political affiliation. If their street is flooded, if they need an affordable unit to live in, you don't ask what party they're from. You say, yep, we got to figure out how to make that happen for you.
In Miami, how do you fix, or if you can't fix, address housing affordability?
I have tackled that in my role at County Commission. And one of the things that I have done is taken a deep, deep dive at county-owned property, because county-owned property is not owned by the county, it's owned by the people. And as a result of looking at the property that we owned, I said, what's on that property? What can be on that property? Let's build housing when it's appropriate. And I have already opened thousands of units of affordable housing, sometimes low-income seniors, sometimes working families. And that is exactly what I'm going to take with me to the city of Miami. I think that's a big reason people voted for me. We started with 13 candidates in the race. I was the only candidate with a history and a track record of building thousands of units. And that means I'm not going to go into the city with training wheels when it comes to housing. I know how to make sure we can accelerate the construction of housing that people can afford.
Before I let you go, Mayor-elect Higgins, you just talked about property, and I'm curious about whether or not you support giving property away for a presidential library for President Trump.
Listen, having a presidential library is an honor for any community. But if I just happened to own a piece of property worth, let's say, $200 million, and a billionaire walked by and said, hey, can I have that? I would say no, but you could pay for it. So hopefully the courts will work out some sort of a solution between the state government and the Library Foundation, so that the residents of this community are compensated for that land, because that money could be used to educate our young people at Miami-Dade College.
Miami Mayor-elect Eileen Higgins. Mayor-elect, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much.